Godzello's Journal, Saturday, June 4th, 2011.
I just got back from seeing X-Men First Class, and I was absolutely impressed that it was not such a piece of shit like the previous two. To be fair, I actually really enjoyed Last Stand, but that's more of a guilty pleasure. It has nothing to do with the quality of the film. Origins was a travesty. That was just shit. Deadpool was a piece of shit. The CGI was shit. The other characters were shameless, shitty ploys. The clowns were shit, because they were CGI, and the CGI was shit. You get my point? Good. X-Men First Class takes all this shit, puts it in a pile, burns it, and moves on, becoming something rather awesome. On almost every level, that movie surpassed its predecessors.
The film is set primarily in 1962 during the Cuban Missile Crisis, and focuses on the relationship between Professor X and Magneto and the origin of their groups, the X-Men and the Brotherhood of Mutants. The film had a consistent plot. It was easy to follow, and the introduction of characters was handled in a way that made the characters relatable and likable, unlike half of the cast of Origins, who felt more like advertising ploys than real people. The subplots were character-driven, revealing the characters' feelings toward the events of the film, such as the character arcs of Raven and Hank in particular, as well as the obvious focus of the film, the friendship between Eric and Charles, both of whom were superbly portrayed by James McAvoy and Michael Fassbender. Come to think of it, the entire cast was superb. They had visible on-screen chemistry as an ensemble, and enough strong characterization to make them quirky and enjoyable in a short time. Unlike another prequel, that shall not be named, that depicted the friendship of the ultimate good and bad guys as friends in their relative youths. Watching the strains their conflicting ideologies create between Xavier and Lensher was, in a word, brilliant. Unlike several of the previous movies, each character was portrayed in a way that benefited the story, making each character integral in their own way. A pleasant deviation from the seeming focus of uber awesome badass CGI, come look at the shiny explodey things, that seemed to have predominated the whole of Origins. Also, the CGI in general is exponentially improved. If you can't tell, my hatred for Origins burns with the fiery passion of 1,000 suns.
Got plot, characters, special effects were actually really fucking good compared to other things. I was highly impressed by the entire movie, and I'm looking forward to more with the X-Men characters. I will admit I'll admit one spoiler. Seeing Wolverine for a brief cameo was actually very well done. I was really happy with the way that worked. You can tell my badass voice is giving way to excitement. It's hard to be this badass with this voice because it kind of hurts after a while. I could use some water. No, I don't. I'm a badass. I don't need water. I drink the blood of my enemies. Or Mountain Dew Code Red, because it's still red, like the blood of my enemies. And that said, smoke crack and zig Satan.